Hello, Carla Colella from Oconomowoc Physical Therapy, coming at you today to talk about a conversation I was having earlier today. Why are physical therapy exercises so weird? We have to look at what system you're working with these. So most people who come to physical therapy, are their problems just that they're lacking brute force strength? No, not in my opinion. Not in the people I see anyway. And so when we think about exercise, we think about that just gaining brute strength, which is not, it's hard to do and put the work in and make yourself stronger, but cognitively we know do this motion from A to B with this much weight, with this much overload over time in different ways, and you will get stronger. A lot of times what people are missing is that body connection and coordination with their movements. And so if you can go through if you could test weak in something, go through a physical therapy treatment, and then test strong in it, did you get stronger in that session? No, you just made your body work better, kind of tap into those go signals better. So this is something not common knowledge that I just wanted people to know about, that I tend to have myself having some conversations with on a semi-regular basis these days, is your homunculus. So you've probably seen a figure of this if you've studied any sort of anatomy, but if we look at your brain, there's this motor control and almost right in the middle, and if you turn that 90 degrees, every bit of our body is given a designated space around it based on how much we need to move it. So our hands have a ton of space dedicated to hand representation in the brain because of all the fine motor that we do with them, how frequently we use them throughout the day. Also our faces, tongue, throat, everything in eating, swallowing, facial expression, it's used all the time. So think of areas, your foot, if you're walking a lot and you walk well, your foot has a really big space in the map. Sometimes, let's say we injure our foot. It's in a boot, it's in a cast. We're gonna fill in that area that's dedicated to the foot with just some other leg stuff. It's just gonna kind of get blurry. We don't really know what it's there and what it's supposed to be doing after a while. Other stuff just kind of grows in its place. We don't even notice that it's missing, right? That can happen with injury. It could also just happen psychologically if you have areas of abuse and you just kind of shut down your body because you want to separate that and not feel it. You fill it in with other stuff and you don't really notice that it's not there until you come to physical therapy and we ask you to do a particular movement, and it just feels like walking and chewing gum and rubbing your belly and patting your head, and you just can't do it. And that's why they feel so weird, because you just don't have that mind-body connection to it. So a lot of the exercises we do, you don't get fatigued with, you're not going to get short of breath. They're just to redraw foot back in place. The area in this motor cortex that's dedicated to our back, like I said, if hand is this huge chunk and face is this huge chunk, and this other bit we have, arm, shoulder, back, pelvis, hips, that's all very big. So maybe your whole entire back only gets kind of this slender wedge of it. And like I said, if you're hurt or anything else and you shut it down, and maybe it doesn't hurt anymore, but you never really redrew or rededicated that space to it, it's still going to be small, and you're going to feel very foreign doing some of the exercises that you're given in physical therapy. So a lot of the manual treatments that I do and other well-trained manual therapists help heighten that too and bring it together. So while you may not have to go to a physical therapist to, just self-practicing yoga can help you get in touch with that. There's a lot of other, practitioners that's all that they do is kind of that mind-body connection, but to be able to go to someone who can toggle between, okay, here's where this motor piece is a deficit, you need to work on this, let's toggle back to something orthopedic, work on that. Okay, this is more of a motor control. Oh, it's restricted here, it's something visceral, let's work on that. That's the benefit in the physical therapist. But that's also why some of the exercises, you get better at doing things that you think you need strength for, but it's not really strength that you're working on. Hope that helps.